I'm recording this a couple weeks before Valentine's Day in 2022. Now, I do a lot of private tutoring in a number of subjects, including chemistry, and it dawned on me that we have 118 different chemical elements. I think they're working on 119 now as we speak, and all of them have very different personalities, but they can seem to mingle together in our universe, right? In our home called the universe. Now, we have some chemicals that don't like to hang out with anybody at all, right? Especially helium and neon. Argon and down, you can sometimes, especially some of the more aggressive characters, right, who know how to connect with these, can sometimes persuade them to get into a relationship, right? But for the most part, they love their single lives, right? We got some metals here that also love their single lives, but with some really clever people, sometimes they could be persuaded into a relationship as well. I'll talk about that in a second. We have some elements, especially after lead, that sometimes like to change their identity in some way, right? Get an operation, get a sex change of some sort, right? And yet, they can all hang out together, right? So helium doesn't like to make friends with anybody, and sometimes it loves to explore. We're all told, or at least here in the Seattle area especially, we frown upon playing with helium balloons because helium is such a good explorer, and it doesn't like to hang out with its neighbors, right? And it just sometimes leaves the planet altogether, right? And so we have a shortage of helium on hand, right? Hydrogen also loves to leave the planet, but sometimes it could be persuaded by oxygen to form a good relationship, and then they'll fall back to Earth, right? Especially here in the Seattle area, right? We get a lot of hydrogen and oxygen relationships falling onto the Earth, right? Which is why Seattle can be depressing sometimes for me, right? Now, gold is usually happily single, solo-sexual, but with the right combination of friends, it can sometimes be persuaded into a relationship, right? When hydrogen combines with chlorine and a little bit of nitrogen and oxygen, sometimes that gang can persuade gold into getting a relationship, and even platinum into getting into a relationship, right? We got polonium here who isn't exactly happy with its body, and sometimes it gets a sex change operation and it becomes lead, right? What else do we got here? And you get the idea, right? And yet, all of these things can seem to coexist together in our universe. So why don't people who are happily single, right? Those kind of people, why can't we all get along together, right? We all have our uses in the universe.